What's going on Facebook? What's going on YouTube? How's everybody doing? This one's tired. This one's tired a little bit.
I'm very tired. I was half asleep.
Yeah, she was. But nonetheless, we're here. Let us know who's watching with us. If you pop in, pop on out. Let us know. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since we've been on this channel. It's been a minute since we've been saying what's up to y'all. Hopefully y'all can hear us. We have, we kind of like in the beginning, kind of like bit off a little bit more than we can chew.
I said this last time too. I bit off. Well, I didn't bite. I just went with what you were trying to bite. My husband is a beast, and he can go. But I tried to keep up, but I crash.
No, she does a great job keeping up, So anyway, even though Sundays is a very, 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 very busy day for us, so we are not going to do this every Sunday. Every first Sunday of the month, we're going to be on here for about 30 minutes just to talk, just to say what's up, just to, share what's on our heart, what's on our mind. Hopefully this helps, you guys. Hopefully you guys can help us if you're commenting back, whether you're talking after or you're talking during. But we just wanted to come, real quickly, and then again, our Sundays are so busy, even after we're done with this right now, we're not done, right? We still got more to do. We were just trying to sit there for a little bit and, just watch a little bit of television. But nonetheless, that,
He fell asleep on the television show that we were watching first, talking about he seen my eye closed.
Yeah.
But I got small eyes, and I can't see that well. So what he probably seen was me squinting with my already small eyes. So he said that gave him permission to close both of his eyes because he's seen one of my eyes closed.
One of your small eyes squint.
One of my small eyes squint. And before we know it, he had me in a tight squeeze, and he was knocked out.
Believe that if y'all want to believe that. I believe that if y'all want to believe that. Tell her D. Yeah, but she the one yawning. Exactly.
I'm always yawning. And Daydream, you already know how I get down. Okay.
Yeah, remember that chair at JJ house?
It don't matter what chair it is. It don't matter. I have a deficit of sleep.
Wow.
So whenever I have the opportunity, that's right.
Catch up.
My doctor explained it to me. He just did a whole study on it.
Yep. So that's what it is, and we're gonna go with that. That's what it is, and we're going to go with that.
Right.
All right. So but we're going to get right into it. Again, we got about give about 30 minutes. 30 minutes locked together. We ain't perfect by no means. But we do believe that we are locked together. Not our hair, but our love, our journey, our life. We believe that we're locked together. We believe that that we do our life together really well. We believe that we do parenting together well. We're great partners. We believe that we do ministry together well. We respect each other's roles and whatever their roles may be. We don't look at no one's bigger, no one's smaller. We look at we are equal, right? So that leads us right into our topic, on unequally yoked.
Can I say something first?
What's going on, Brother Charles?
Hello. So he said that leads us into our topic. He has classified or declared me as the executive producer. So I'm in charge of all the different topics that we talk about. So I just definitely gave him a list for like the next 4 or 5 months. But if there's anything specific that you guys want us to talk about, you could always inbox me or just drop it. Any way to communicate with us, you can just drop it so we can talk about those different things.
Absolutely. In ministry, partnership in ministry, money, whatever. And, and how do we operate? Again,
we've learned how to do a few things.
Yeah, we've learned how to do a few
pretty
things.
Decently.
17 years.
I agree. Yeah, we really, really, really work well together.
We do.
Seriously, we definitely have disagreements, but it really is not until a lot of the things that we're working on together. Like we don't have a lot of huge agreements when it comes to like parenting or even like ministry. Like when we are partners together to do something, it pretty much flows. We've learned over the years, right, to respect our different
viewpoints.
Yeah, different viewpoints and definitely our different strengths. Like I know well what he's good at, and I'm able to rest and let him do what he do. And I play number 2. I support you, babe. What you need from me. What did I say? Alley-oop. Alley-oop, right? How can I support you? And he knows what my strengths are and what my strengths are not. And so we work really well at giving each other the space to do what we do. And there are some areas that we're both like strong in, and those are the areas we even flow pretty well tag teaming. But yeah, we've learned over the years. I had to learn a lot, y'all. I had to learn a lot, but we've definitely gotten to a place where things are pretty smooth. Now we both have very strong personalities, so there's several areas that we might have different agreements in. But when we're working on something together, we actually do pretty well at it.
Yeah, we do, and it takes time, and for some people it's natural, depending on your character, depending on your mindset. It's natural. Some people it's like bumping heads, and kind of like I want it this way, I want it that way, and get mad when it's not your way. So, but we'll save that topic for another time. But today, unequally yoked. What is it? What is it? What does that even mean? When we hear in scripture, when we hear, are you unequally yoked? The Bible tells us not to be unequally yoked, right? So before we get into what it means, the first thing we want to talk about is that scripture is really not directed right at marriages. It's not directed right at marriages. It's directed at unbelievers and believers. It's directed at unbelievers and believers. So again, should I be friends with an unbeliever? Right? Should we be homies? Should we be going out kicking it? Can an unbeliever be my best friend? So again, we'll save that for another platform. But because this is a marriage relationship platform, we want to take that right over into it. Maybe we can even, look at the two. So but First Lady, Kina, what does that, mean in the sense of unequally yoked?
Okay. So I would say that I was introduced to the word unequally yoked at a very early age. That's one of the messages that the church is strong and don't have no problem with talking about. So since I was a kid, whether it was hearing the older people not even necessarily talking to me, talking about you can't be unequally yoked, or whether it was like our youth leaders just talking to us about going into different relationships and how important it was for us to be equally yoked. When I was introduced to the word and when we first started talking about it, it was simply the concept of making sure that you are connected to individuals, whether it's romantically or even why can't I think of the other word? Not romantically, what's the other word? Platonically, sorry. Making sure that you're connected to people who are the same belief system. So, and basically like believers of Christ, make sure you are connected to other Christians. That was something that was told to us that was very imperative in our romantic relationships as well as our platonic relationships.
And so when we think of that, you'll look it up. It has a lot of connotation and a lot of semblance when it comes to animals. When it comes to animals, and animals that are working together to produce something. Maybe it's turning a wheel so that water can come into a well, whatever it may be. These two animals, it's important for these two animals to be similar in dimensions.
In height.
And width. It's very similar for them to be similar. When they're not similar, whatever their job and their objective is, it makes it hard. They work against each other. They're working against each other. The job is not getting done.
Can you imagine just he and I, could you imagine us trying to carry, and we've done it before, but I'm just so strong and I'm just so agile that I find a way to make it work because that's what I do. I get it from my mama. But, imagine us trying to carry a big board or something like that. And on top of the board was a pail or jar of water. He's way up here and I'm down here. So there's going to be a slant. It makes it the water is going to tilt over. The water is going to spill. We're not going to be as productive with what we're trying to accomplish.
And we may get to our goal, but we're going to lose some water.
Right.
We may get to our goal, but we're not going to be as full as we could have been if we were if we were the same. If we were the same, might be still some water in the jars, but getting to our goal and our destiny to water crops or to feed the cattle or whatever it may be, to give them drink, we're not going to be as full as we need to be. So again, it's really at the end of the day how we is really being on the same mindset, right? It's really having the same mindset. So before we get on what the same mindset looks like, right? The one thing is not that we have to be the same, right? So being equally yoked is not you have to be the same person. One of the
I think we talked about that before.
One of the things that we talked about in our very first I want to say first or second Locked Together was embracing your differences. Was embracing your differences. So again, I don't know about you, but a part of me being married to Kina and being happy about it, and I've expressed that to her many times, is that to some degree, right? Many people may look at us and be like, "Man, you guys are just alike. You guys do certain things."
So many people assume that about us.
But we have a lot of differences, and I love that. I embrace that, right? For the main reason, again, I was talking to someone today when it comes to watching television. Talking to someone today and saying, "Hey, listen, we really watch two different genres of television, two different genres. We find ourselves, she watches what she watches, I watch what I watch, and we come together in between that and watch one show at a time together. Now, I may jump in her show and ask her some questions and bug the mess out of her. She'll do the same thing to me. She'll be like, so what's going on with that guy? And then how did that guy come into the picture? But then we have one show that we always try to watch together in between that. So, but it's just a different genre of what gets her going, right? What gets her excited, like what gets me excited for different reasons, how we're wired. But I like that. And I like that for one reason is because she introduces me to something that I would have never thought that I would like, right? She shows me something that I never thought that I would like. How many foods have you done that for me for, right? How many foods that has she's done that for me when it comes to food and when it comes to travel. When it comes to travel, all of these things are differences that she brought to me, right? So again, embrace your differences. Embrace your differences. Your differences it has nothing to do with it doesn't have much to do to do with being unequally yoked. So embrace them. But being unequally yoked is, do we think the same? Right? To a degree, on like, is our mindset going towards the same thing? And of course, as believers, when it comes to Christ.
And we can see the conflict that it would be in our relationship, and honestly, really even the conflict just in you as an individual and where it is that you want to go in life and different goals that you want to accomplish and different things that you want to tackle in your life. If you two if you're married, but you are of complete different thought, then how do we ever come together to accomplish different things that we need to do, like as a family? Yeah, I can be successful in my career. I can be successful in like goals that I have that are singular, that I might not need as much support in like a typical 9-to-5. But how does that come into play when there are things that we need to join in on to actually accomplish? So if there are, the goals can vary, maybe it is investing, maybe it is travel, maybe it is, businesses outside of our 9-to-5. If we are of the same mind, it's going to make it easier for us to be able to accomplish it. We're not pulling in opposite directions. So it's not just in regards to like, and we're going to talk obviously about like spiritually, like what that means, but even outside of a spiritual aspect, you're just going to be more successful in life overall. You're going to be more successful in parenting. You're going to be more successful and even like being caretaker, where we, are at and moving into a different phase of our life. We're having to provide more for our parents, and there will be different things that we'll have to work on together. And it's going to be so much easier if we could have the same mind in order to get those things accomplished.
And these lessons for me, not lessons, but these keys to relationship and to marriage, they go hand in hand with each other, right? So in order for us to be equally yoked, even when it comes to business and when it comes to investments, when it comes to whatever you're doing, it's very important for us to be talking about these things, right? So if we're going to invest, if we're going to do something inside of a business, if we're going to move, if we're going to look for a house, right? Whatever it gotta be, or whatever it is, the first thing is talking about it. right? So again, so let's use investing for, for instance, we want to invest, right? So we both say yes. We both say yes. It's, we got some money. It's time to, put some money into something. Now, equally yoked is making sure, is making sure that we both want to do this, right? Equally yoked may not be right away where, right? The where may be different. The how may be different. But we both got to be on the same page that we do want to invest, right? You may know of a business or a company that's profiting more, and my friend told me about this, and you do this and you do that. That's cool. But are we on the same page that we want to invest, right? Let me not kick against the grain and go the opposite direction when you beating and saying, no. I don't feel like it's time now. Again, we can get into a whole nother ballpark when it comes to investing, because again, what if we got two different bank accounts? What if our money's different? What if we operate our money? Should I still
how much you putting in,
right? Do I still have to talk to her? Do we still gotta be equally yoked if our money's different? If our money's different, do we gotta be equally yoked, or do I just gotta tell him or her, this is what I did? This is what I did. So again, I would never get into that, because again, that's not anything biblical. As far as like, you should have your own same bank accounts and you should be sharing stuff. I do believe this when it comes to that. However you look at it, I do believe that there should be no secrets. That's what I agree to, right? So I don't believe that, you should have another bank account with, $10,000 and the other person don't even know about it, right?
So you can have another bank account with tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars, but the other individual just need to know about it.
I think so. What do you think?
That's what I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I mean, so I'm not saying, that's to each his own about it. I got my own bank account, got my own money. And again, for those that got married later in life, and I mean, you probably got married in your mid-30s and probably got married in your early 40s, right? That's probably already set, right? Because you've already established some stuff, right? But if you got married when you was early 20s and you would have a bank account, everything just kind of meshed together. We kind of do money all together. However you do it, I just believe that there shouldn't be any secrets, right? That's a good topic, right? As well as a good topic as far as like what does these secrets, what do secrets do? Secrets definitely say that there's no trust, right? There's a reason why I'm keeping it a secret from you. There's a reason why I don't want you to know this, right? But anyway, so when it comes to equally yoked in investments and business and buying stuff and whatever, parenting, right? We gotta be on the same page, right? I think at one point in time, we had to be equally yoked when it came to before we had our children. I believe I think to some degree she was at least talking about homeschooling, right? She was talking about homeschooling, and I was totally against it, right? So now again, you can determine like, well, how do you go with your way and not go to her way? That's just the way that we, in that regard, we ended up operating there. There's some regards where we go her way, but in that regard, we went with my way, and it was my reasoning. But there's no way that we could make that big decision if we're not equally on the same page. On the same page, right? Equal on the same page. So again, are we in the same mind? Do we both agree that this is what we need to do? And even if you don't understand what the other person is saying, at least take time to listen. I never even, like, so for instance, let's say homeschooling, right? Somebody may say, I never even thought about that, right? But that don't mean I say no to it. That means I hear you out. What's the benefits? What's the pros? What's the cons, right? So that I can possibly get on the same page you are, right? Because we don't want to know. You can come home and say, hey, why my son not in school? Oh, I took him out. I'm homeschooling him now. You going to say something to me? Right? You're going to tell me something like that? So we want to make sure, because we know making decisions without sharing with the other person, talking to the other person, that could be a whole mess.
Right. And I think actually a big reason why I think we are able to come to common ground is because we are equally yoked, right? And because the way that our marriage and our relationship is set up on the foundation that the Word of God teaches us. So like a perfect example is like the whole schooling issue that we had in the beginning of our marriage. Like, you know, me from being a young child. Like, these are dreams that I already had. I had a dream, I had a picture of what my life was going to look like. And part of that whole picture was me homeschooling my children. And, you know, I was with Marlon for a while, but we never talked a lot about like children and what our family was going to look like. Honestly, we did. I don't know why, but we didn't talk a lot about that. That wasn't a big thing
Topic.
it wasn't a big topic that we talked about. We probably talked about ministry. Dad, we talked about ministry more than anything. And it's kind of crazy that that's like our life. But anyway, we didn't talk a lot about it, but it was something I always wanted. But once we got to the point where we start planning for our family, and I'm like, hey, babe, I want to homeschool. This was something I always wanted to do. And it's like, you know, and honestly, once we went with the option not to homeschool, it wasn't because my mind was changed and I thought that was going to be the best thing for our children, our future children, or for our family. It was because I believe that when we're at a crossroads and we can't come to a common ground, that I follow my husband. That's the way I believe that he is the head of our household, you know? And so that's honestly how we came to that point. You know, I have trust, I have faith that I will follow him, and at the same time that he's following Christ. And it was the best decision for our family, hands down. Definitely the best decision for my son, who has become pretty social. But had he been homeschooled, now I know there are support groups, not support groups, but there are little small groups and everything for homeschooling. But I know that being in school was the best thing for him.
And that's what my mindset was before I even knew we was going to have a son. Before that was my argument. Yeah. My argument was, you know, the social life and, you know, whatever there was, you know. So again, whatever it may be, you know, I had that feeling, you know, I wasn't in favor of it. You know, she trusted, you know, my thought process. I wasn't belittling it, right? That's a good thing, right? I wasn't talking down to her. I wasn't saying you crazy. My son ain't going to know. You know, I was just kind of like, I don't think that's a good decision for us. You know, I'll think about it some more. I'll pray about it some more. But I really think that, you know, a regular school, you know, public school, even if it is a Catholic school, even if it is a private school, that's fine. But just not being around no kids at all.
But even then, when we went to go visit the private schools, because that was something else that we did visit a couple of years ago, probably around 3 or 4 years ago. We did. It was like a part B. Okay, can we put the kids in private school then? And we did go and we did visit some private schools, and he was like,
my son
this
off.
ain't it.
I like, this one. Well, at least this one isn't it. At least this one isn't it. You know, for different reasons. It wasn't because of social life. You still have social life there, but it was for a different reason. But nonetheless, we communicated. We heard each other out. And then either way, whether it was yay or nay, we got together, and we were equally yoked, right? But there are times when it takes a long time for the other one to get to where the other one is, right? But if you got a gut feeling of something is right or wrong, don't budge, right? Because the other person is sad.
So what do you call that? Do you call that a gut feeling?
I mean, of course, it's the Spirit of God.
Okay.
I believe for myself, it's the Spirit of God, because He knows that there's nothing for the most part. Like, I love seeing her happy. Like, I love seeing her happy. I love trying my very best to make life easier for her. I try not to be the one that's adding on to her life. So if I can, I'm gonna try to take it off of her plate. So if she comes to me with a suggestion or a thought, I'm going to probably say, okay, let's go ahead, let's go do it, let's go. But if I'm adamant about, nah, I just don't think so. I just don't think it's time. I don't think this is the right opportunity.
And we be checking each other. I think we went through something recently, and we were checking each other like, okay, now is that your flesh? Is that your flesh? Or is the Spirit telling you to do that? You know, so we definitely check each other, because sometimes your flesh do get in the way, and it's like, nah, this is just what I want. All right, babe, we really can't move in. This is what we want right now, because this is a big, serious decision. So if you ain't heard from God, I ain't heard from God. Okay, let's just sit for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, you heard? You ain't here yet? Okay, let's just sit for a little bit longer.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. And And we got like, again, just being in line with the Spirit and being in line with God, we are like, I feel like we do a good job. We're still talking about equally yoked. We do a good job when it comes to knowing what season we are in our life, in our marriage, right? So we do a good job with saying that doesn't line up with the season we're in. And we may not use those words, right? We just say no or yeah. Like, you know what? Yeah, it's a good time to do that.
Well, he's a big one.
Yeah,
for the season.
I'm a really big one for like,
be wanting to hear
no, and that's why I said sometimes it's like, but if I'm adamant about it, if I'm like, Keena, it's not time. It's not time for the kids to do that. It's not time for me to do that. And I think, again, real quick, some people going to, be like, you're your own person, and and she is a woman, and a woman, and a queen, and all that stuff. So, but when she went back to school, there was a season when I told her, because she went back to school, got a master's about, now 3-4 years ago, right? 17. So, but there was a time when she wanted to do that before when she went back. And I said to her, I didn't think it was time.
But I'm ready to go get my doctorate. And he said, what'd you say?
Well, I said go, didn't I?
Yeah, you said go. Like,
I believe
this season is crazy.
I know.
Yeah,
but
I release you. You can go get your doctorate.
But there's been times when I wanted to do stuff, and she was like, not really the words, not time, but she was like, are you sure? But I could tell that she was feeling like, you know what, it's not season. So again, whatever it may be, just make sure that you're communicating with it, and that and that you are understanding of what the person is saying. Mm-hmm. and then you stay equally yoked on that final decision. Mm-hmm. And like you said, if you have it how we have it, and say, okay, well, I'm gonna go with you on this one right here, then trust that the person is following Christ. Mm-hmm. And following God, and say, you know what, I believe you in communication with God. Mm-hmm. I believe you listening to the Holy Spirit. Mm-hmm. So I'm with it, right? Mm-hmm. So make sure you are equally yoked with your decision making, right? Because without those decisions, if you're not, it brings arguments. Mm-hmm. It brings frustration. It brings resentment. Mm-hmm. It brings resentment. If you I don't agree, mm-hmm. but I understand, mm-hmm. or I don't agree, but I'm gonna follow, or I'm gonna go with it. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go with it, right? Mm-hmm. And then as time goes on, you'll see if the person was right or wrong, mm-hmm. right? You'll see it. You'll be like, you know what? Thank God we ain't do that thing. And
you're not necessarily looking for a failure. You're not looking for it at the moment. You don't want an I told you so.
Nope.
Because an I told you so doesn't just fall on him, and I told you so falls on you as well. Yeah. It falls on your family as well. So any of those times where you're going out and you're following the lead of your husband, or you're following the lead of your wife, you want to pray, Lord Jesus, please let this work.
Yeah.
Let this work. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You want it to work. So again, when it comes to decision making, communicate. First, this is what I want to do. Do you feel what I feel? Or even if you don't, like, I don't, but you know what? I can see that. Mm-hmm. Right? I can see that. I remember one time, when it came to us changing the name of the church, right? When it came to us changing the name of the church, I probably thought of this how long ago? I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago, right? She was with it, but she really wasn't with it, right? She was with it, but she really wasn't with it, and I could tell, like, she ain't really with it yet. So if she ain't with it, I ain't bringing it to the leadership. I ain't bringing it to the church. We're gonna have to sit on this thing, right? So I don't know. It could have been my flesh, but it just wasn't a time. But then this how I knew that it was time, and that we was both on one accord with it, because once I told her, she got a little bit on board. And then I kid you not, I don't like to say a lot of you not, but I kid you not, that when we was reading our own devotionals, we really said basically, I think we got the name. I think we got the name. I think we got the name. I don't think we ever told anybody this. I think we got the name. And then I think we said, okay, listen, I do too. I do too. And like, all right, cool. We had no multiple choice. We had nothing like that. Literally on a count of 3. When I was like, all right, well, you say the name. Well, you say the name. Mm-hmm. All right, listen, you're going to say what the name is. And then on the count of 3, we both said the well. Mm-hmm. We both said the well. She was reading John 7. I was reading something else that got to do with water in the well. And we both said the well at the same time.
And then we've seen confirmation
so many times. But in the beginning, 4 or 5 years ago, I was excited just to do something new. Not that God was telling me. Mm-hmm. But I was excited just to be like, name of the church, let's change it. And she was like, I don't know, but you're the pastor, so if you want to, I'll support you
every day. But I'm gonna tell you the truth first, and then I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, make sure decisions that you're talking about, you try your very best to get understanding, hear them out. There may be some things, I don't want to belabor this too long. There may be some things where you say, you know what, I was thinking the same thing. It might be. Or it might be, you know what, tell me more.
Yeah, and we've given examples of both. Like, I hear what you guys say. I really don't agree, but okay.
Tell me more, because I wasn't thinking about it. I had no idea you wanted to invest. No, I had no idea, but it's not a bad idea. But just tell me more. Then you're like, yeah, I want to, $5,000. I want to put in there. Like, whoa, you sure you want to put in $5,000? Yeah, because this company is doing this, the company is doing that, whatever. So either way, something new that I'm hopefully about to get into. Right, I came to her with it. She heard me out. She didn't think about it. It wasn't something that she thought about. But I told her about it. She heard me out. And now she's asking me what's going on with it.
And now I look back in retrospect, I'm like, yo, that makes so much sense. Maybe that's why you was doing that 10 years ago. Maybe that's why you was doing that. Let's go. Let's do it. I'm excited about it. That's bomb.
So communicate, y'all. Communicate. Have those conversations. Making sure that you're equally yoked on decision making and in the same page. Kids, finances. Vacationing, right? All of those things. I guess it's a real quick question for those that are on.
Hey Naisha, I'm not sure if he's still on.
Do you mind, for those that are still on, couples, wives, or husbands, what area of your life do you mind the other person making a decision without consulting you?
That's a good question.
If there is an area. What area of your life do you mind? Like, just make a decision. Just make a decision.
Can you answer that first?
I would say vacation.
Oh, but that's a definite.
I would say vacation.
Where we going.
I don't even know where we going.
You won't be having a clue. Nope. It'll be like a week before, and he'd be like, where are we going again?
Yep.
So that's,
I don't know.
yeah.
So
I'm trying to figure out what area I don't mind, like, not having a clue.
Anybody talk back as Keenan thinks about it.
I can't.
What area of your life do you say, you know what? How about eating? I don't care what we eat tonight.
Nah, I think I need to know everything.
It seems like I think you know everything.
I guess I'm a little bit.
No, y'all don't think you would care too much about, when we could go to the movies. You didn't care too much about it.
You didn't care about the movies.
You were like, because you will always be like, where are we going to see again? What are we going to see?
No, yeah, movies, I don't care.
So vacation, we're both Christian now. So daydreaming.
Or TV, I don't care.
Yeah, so what we watching, you don't need to know what we watching.
I can pick it up in the middle of what you watching. It don't really matter to me.
Got you. Vacation for both you and Christian.
Vacation. Yeah. What? Vacation would not be cool for me.
You don't care when you eat?
Yeah. Nah, eating, I'm kind of picky.
Oh, where you eat? Wow. So yeah. I think I do.
You care more than you used to care, for sure. Because you be saying, like, sometimes the place I want to eat at is too light. Like, you don't want Chipotle, you don't want Panera Bread.
Yeah, it's too light. It's definitely Panera Bread. Panera Bread is like paper.
Panera Bread is like a perfect size.
It does nothing for me. Like I'm like 6'4".
He never gets it. I always get it by myself.
220. How are you? Anyway.
Yeah, it makes sense. You're a big guy.
Yeah. Anyway. So So some people may not care for some certain thing, but the things you care about. Please talk about.
Yeah.
Don't let it fester. Fester. So spiritually, before we got into spiritually, spiritually, we want to be on the same page as well.
Yeah.
Right. We want to be on the same page as well.
So spiritually, so what does that look like? Being equally yoked in a spiritual perspective.
Well, the first thing is, you gotta be the same belief system.
Mm-hmm.
That goes without saying. Like, I know this is a Christian page, but I never can see how a Muslim and a Christian could be married. I mean, right?
I mean, no.
I just blows my mind.
Honestly, it's kind of hard to be married to a Christian. Seriously, when I talk to my friends, baby, I love you.
No, I agree.
When I talk to my friends and we talk about, like, the hardest things, like, for some of us, it's parenting. Like, I'm like, that's a question I commonly ask them. Like, is parenting harder? And seasons might be different for people. Parenting harder or is marriage harder? Hands down, marriage is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Because I ain't got to be one with my kids. I ain't got to agree. Y'all ain't got to agree with me. I love y'all, but I'm going to decide what I want to decide. Now, as they get older, they have more choices, and some of them I might not agree with about, just let them do it. But it's not going to affect me as much as it's going to affect me, you know, having to come to a decision or not come to a decision, like, you know, my partner. So for me, marriage is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And that's being married to a believer, like a God-fearing man who loves Jesus so much. It is the hardest thing I've ever done. And we are equally yoked. If I was unequally yoked, first of all, that nigga wouldn't be able to do nothing with me, because Jesus is the only thing that Jesus really gets me to submit to you. So it would be a mess.
Yeah. So just being married in general is hard. So I can't imagine being married to someone of a different religion. Like what we doing here? Like you believe something totally different. We operate different. We believe different. So I can't imagine how hard that would be. But even on top of that, when it comes to spiritual, right? What are our spiritual goals, right? Even when it comes to attending service, right? We need to be like, okay, how often do you do this? Like is this something like, how serious are you about this walk? Right? We got to be evenly yoked. Right? Are you somebody that say, you know what? Yeah, my mom go. Sometimes she invite me to a church and I go on occasion. But then you marry somebody who is in their church every week, and they serving, and they a deacon, but you were somebody who went, on Christmas, Easter, and Mother's Day, right? And you fighting with it, and you like, nah, I don't do it that much. I don't do it. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't pursue this, because hopefully the one will encourage the other to come more.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean it won't work, because we've had so many examples of it working.
Absolutely, it can work, but you have to know, like, we got to get there. I don't think it can stay there. No, I don't think it can stay there.
And then for some people, like, it would never even start, because I need you to be at a certain place before we.
Exactly. I need for you to. So again, your goals. How do you see this walk?
Yeah, I tell people all the time, like, when young women or even women my age, we start talking about a new relationship they in, they already know. The first thing I want to know is he saved? And I tell them straight up, when they say, the only thing is, it's always that. The only he's this, he got a job, he ain't got no kids, he fine, all stuff like that. The only thing is what? What is the only thing? He not saved. I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you, my stance does not change. I'm happy he has the whole package, but he ain't got nothing if he ain't got Jesus. But he willing to come to church with me. I mean, I'm going to straight up tell you the truth. Like, my answer's not going to say
it's not. Now, again, there's many stories. God rest his soul to my father. He was like that with my mom. He was raised in church, but not coming to church as much as he need to. And my mother married him, and eventually later on in life, he got committed to not just the church, but to Christ. But we're talking about later on in life. But early on, he probably loved the Lord. He probably I guess to some degree, had a relationship with Jesus, but wasn't coming to church. It wasn't serious to him until later on in life. So again, making sure that when it comes to, again, I don't think this really plays a part too much anymore. But I don't know. I don't even know how believers can go to different churches. I know it's done. I just don't understand. I just don't understand how you can be at one church and I could be at another church. I don't understand that.
Not long term.
Not long term.
And we even tell people, because we've had that, instance with our church where, or like when, like, one party in the marriage have to go out for, like, ministry. Maybe they're, I don't know, maybe they're a musician, or maybe they're, I don't know, a preacher or whatever, and they're constantly being called somewhere else. I tell a wife in a minute, like, I love you, but go with your husband, go with your family. It's important for your family to be together. Okay, so is there such thing as being, like, unequally yoked, but, like, you guys still both believe in Jesus, but, like, you're just on two different planes, like, in your walk? Like, maybe, like, I don't study at all. Like, my studying is whatever the pastor teach me on Sunday. Or I'm kind of like the Christian who, like, I go to church, but I'm kind of going to live how I want to live. Like, can you talk about that? Like, is that being unequally yoked
and,
too, or
yeah,
what you
and
say?
that was going to be like one of my last things to say.
I'm sorry.
No, that's perfect unless you got something else. No, because I believe that unequally yoked is not just I believe in God and you believe in God, right? It's really like, again, that's why I said our God goals, our God goals. Where are we trying to go, right? If I'm studying, trying to get to know Him deeper, then I want my spouse to be doing the same thing. I want them to be doing the same exact thing. I want them to be hungry like I'm hungry. Yes, evidently one is going to know more than the other, right? One is going to know more than the other. But I want you to know, I want you to
clearly I'm the one.
Oh yeah, like she is like she knows more than I know. She reads more than I read. She prayed longer. No, she prayed longer. She absolutely prays longer.
No, he most certainly is the superior.
You know, I'm definitely not the superior.
I love to rest in
but yeah, I mean, but can you imagine that, right? But I'm always asking her, what devotional you doing? Glad to see that, Deidre and you guys doing devotionals together, right? So again, what devotional are you doing? If I'm doing a different plan every time I finish a plan, or I'm reading something new, right? Because again, I don't want to, go back and forth too much. Yes, absolutely, Tears. That's hard. That's really hard. But we, I really want her. I really want, even in the secular realm that's not spiritual, to ask her also what else is she doing that I'm doing, right? So even if it's reading a regular book, right? Because she's a reader, I'm a reader, right? Even if it's going to the gym, right? Hey, you haven't been to the gym in a while.
That's a big one for him.
Yeah, it's a really big one for me. It's a really big one. He's my
biggest cheerleader, encourager, motivator. It is not because he wants me to look good. It's not that. He knows I'm my best. I'm the happiest when I'm working out. So he is my number one encourager, motivator. Like, hey, you want to go to the gym? And I'm like, no, I don't want to go to the gym.
Exactly. But nonetheless, I'm pushing her, and she goes the amount of time she needs to go per week, right? Yes. She's not a gym rat like myself.
Will never be a gym
rat.
I love the gym, though.
But she goes 3 times a week, like she said she would go 3-4 times a week. But nonetheless, if I'm studying, I want you to study, right? If I'm growing in Christ, I want you to grow in Christ. Like you said, that's universal. That's universal as universal.
The most attractive thing to me is growth. That's so attractive. When I see him doing, succeeding in different things, when I even see him challenging himself to do different things, one of the things that are important for me, and I was talking to a friend about this a couple of months ago. I think it's so important for in a relationship for you guys to be able to inspire each other. I love the fact that he inspires me for fitness. I love that. I love the fact that he inspires me spiritually. I love that. I feel like in every relationship, they should be an inspiration to you, whether it's in the way that they treat their family, whether it's in the way that they love. It's not just, things like working out or accomplishing things in the career world or whatever the case is like that. But I would say to all the couples, find something in your spouse that's inspirational. Babe, you really motivate me to do this. You really inspire me to do this. You inspire me to read more. You inspire me to broaden my mind. You inspire me to want to eat better. You inspire me to want to forgive or to want to love. Find something in your significant other, spouse or not, boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance. Find something in them that's an inspiration to you.
And you know what? That's going to go to our not a last question, but more something that we want to ask on another Lock'd Together. We want to ask, what is your, I guess what is your sexy? Right, because a lot of times when we hear sexy, we think sexy is the look, the body, the shape. No, but how many know when some people say when they see somebody reading a book that's sexy, see somebody going after or helping somebody else in the streets, that's sexy, right? Whatever it might be, you know what I mean. So tell your significant other, your spouse, that's when you do that, that's sexy. That's sexy. When you go that hard after your goals and you take, your son to do that's sexy. When you go help your mom, during, this time, that's sexy, whatever cases, but tell them it's two that inspires me as well. Amen. So we want to be equally yoked when it comes to Christ. Of course, same religion, absolutely. I say same church, absolutely. But even bigger than all that, equally yoked in our pursuit of Him, in our pursuit of Him, because that has to be aggravating, right? That has to be aggravating. It has to be aggravating to the degree of what? It has to be aggravated to the degree of like, oh, you want to come on? Now you don't got to catch up, but you want to come on, right? I'm over here reading, studying, lamenting before the Lord.
No, thank you, sir.
You want to come on?
Yeah.
So again, James Gunn says you guys are so young. It's going to be so sad to see y'all. Okay.
How's that going to be? We actually had a conversation about that recently. We don't know how it's going to be.
Getting old?
No one is eagerly anticipating getting old, or I'm not.
No.
But when it happens, it's going to happen gracefully.
But we are, but James Gunn, I'm not sure if I know you, but we are getting older. Right, that goes without saying. Somebody called me old today. My niece called me old because I said something about the word fleek, and my niece was like, Uncle, we don't say fleek no more.
I know we don't say fleek anymore.
How do words come and go? Like
maybe, but that's what they do. Everything comes and goes.
That quick though.
Come on, what does it say? Ecclesiastes. There's a season for it all.
But that quick, fleek is over. So
yeah,
fleek is over. Just that quick.
Yeah.
Just that quick. Okay. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. But at the same token, yeah, I'm not looking forward to, but we are getting older every day. But I said to her the other day, it's really not about your age, it's about how you feel, right? It's about how you feel. And I know
he tried to encourage me.
Yeah, but I feel pretty good.
Aging to get closer to the big 4-0.
Big 4-0. And I feel pretty good. That's true, Adrian. You're right. That's probably must be where they got it from. Because I said the word fleek. I was like, yo, that's on fleek. And then she was like, nah, you're right. That wasn't Coming to America too.
Was I asleep on that part?
Yeah. She was asleep. She was asleep. All right, real quick. Did y'all like Coming to America too? Those that seen it? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Thumbs up, thumbs down. In the middle.
I laughed so much until I fell asleep.
In the beginning, she laughed at that new character that
I laughed so much, like tears would come in my eyes. I was crawling on the floor.
That new one that Arsenio Hall was. The little
Arsenio Hall stole the show.
No, Wesley Snipes stole the show.
I'm sorry. I'm confusing people.
Wesley
Snipes stole. Now he had me cracking up. Too.
Yeah,
his face show.
Yeah. To me, he was the best in the show.
Yeah,
but
he was.
That little imp thing. That little Baba. Yeah.
Baba had me. I'm like, how did they come up with this character? Like, they were in the meeting, creative meeting, and they were like, guys. I'm like, yo, I was done. I was dead.
On my bag, Samaj. Yeah, no one say my bag, Samaj. He said no one say unk anymore. I mean say fleek.
Oh.
Okay, Samaj. What's the words now for attire? So if I'm dressing nice, I know it's drip.
Dripping.
It's drip. Okay. I know, but it's two other words you told me today. It's two other words you said. So other than drip, what else is it? It's drip.
I don't know.
Wavy.
Never heard of it.
Wavy.
See, I'm missing out. My girl Shanice used to keep me up to date.
Wavy. So when you see somebody wearing something dope, say you wavy. There
drip,
you go.
Drip. I knew drip. Shanice told me drip.
Now what's it? Oh, vibe. There we go.
No,
vibes.
I ain't have that either. I never heard of vibes or wavy.
I like wavy. Vibes okay.
Wavy sounds whack. Wavy sounds like hipster. Like you looking kind of wavy.
Dude,
like groovy. It's like kind of groovy.
I like wavy. I'm going wavy.
I like vibes.
Your hoodie mad wavy.
Like my whole sweatsuit is mad wavy.
It's mad wavy.
Yeah.
But anyway, y'all, let's stay equally yoked. All right, equally yoked. The decision making, equally yoked. And again, have a conversation. Make sure we're on the same page. Don't be coming home with a new car if we ain't talk about it. Right? Let's not be trying to invest our money into some. I'm telling you, some parts for me was like, what, LOL, but I do like that. Yeah, I liked it too. Can't compare.
Okay, this is my thing, guys. Like, people were saying that they were so disappointed. Like, what did you expect?
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't have expected it to match the first one. Like, nothing ever matches the first one.
No.
Like, no movie or no film ever matches a book. You can't go into it with high expectations. Just take it light and go into it looking forward to laughing. That's what I did. And that I did too.
What if it's nothing to laugh at?
But it was stuff to laugh at.
I guess.
We just had to find it.
You know what had me crazy rolling? I really rolled when Izzy was still hopping on one leg. I was cracking up. Like, how
and you said it before she came out. You're like, if she come out hopping, I'm done.
She was still hopping, sounding like an orangutan.
Yeah.
I was like, that is crazy. So that,
and I think who you watch it with and kind of like the mood that was set, like we were already like mad silly.
Yeah, anyway.
That like probably jaded our experience of watching it too.
Exactly. Okay. All right, well, that's all I got. Appreciate y'all for coming on. Hopefully we helped y'all a little bit. Hopefully helped y'all a little bit and being equally yoked and being equally yoked. Hopefully you guys are trying our very best. You're right. It's crazy, which is crazy. But hopefully you guys, working on that. Single with someone, whatever it might be. Engaged, married. Let's work on being together. Let's work on being one, right?
Yeah,
let's work on being one mind.
It's hard too, guys. Like we get on here, we're smiling and we're joking around, but for 1 second, don't think. I said like this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, and I've done some hard things in my life. But being married, and he is an amazing man. He really is like the best man I know. But with that being said, it's still hard because it's two people who have two different train of thoughts, who have two different upbringings, who have two different life experiences. We are both very strong-minded, could both be, well, he most certainly is more bull-headed than I am, but I am more prideful. Most certainly I am more prideful than he is. So it's hard, like working to be one and to not just be one. It's not like you become one and then you're one forever. But working to remain one, like the same way we have to work daily to die ourselves, to satisfy and to look like Christ. Every single day we have to die of ourselves in this relationship. Every day we have to bite, our words and for me it's to swallow our words. Yeah, and for me it's not even swallow words. Getting control of my facial expressions and my neck and my hands. He told me. When we be getting into our little disagreements, he'll say, I don't even want to tell you what he'll say to me. But
I say, here come the hood.
Here come the hood.
I said, the hood is coming out.
And then when he said, and I'm like, yes, this is the hood. It's all the way here. You pulled it out. Now what we going to do about it?
It'd be all the way. All the way, but the more I say it, the more angry she gets.
The more it be coming out.
Yeah, the more it come out.
And I'm proud of it. Yeah. You're daggone right. I'm proud of it.
That's that plain field, y'all. That's that plain field.
That's what he said to me. All of it. I love it. Yeah. I love it. Do I got any people from Plainfield on who love it too?
I love it too. I love
all
it too.
Of me.
Absolutely.
All of me. The Fairleigh Dickinson and the Plainfield. Love it all. Yes, I do.
Yes, absolutely. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Yes, tears, two people coming together. It's hard. It's definitely hard.
He said that wakes her up.
Yo, it wakes her up.
So wait, okay, so but why would you do that? Like that could be a whole subject, Pastor. Why would you do that? If you know that gets me my blood boiling, why would you do that to me? Well, why would you provoke me in that way? That I do not understand.
Well, the first question got to be is why, if you know that.
But I'm already there. For whatever the reason is, I'm already there. I'm already there. So why would you do that? Why would you provoke that in me? If you know it gets me staring, I don't want to do anything to make you angry or upset.
That hood is getting me angry.
Who knew? It's just a part of who I am. It was there before you married me. No. You married me there. No, you used to walk with me on the streets as I used to eat the pickle and the juice used to drip down my arm. And then I used to lick the juice from the pickle.
She did. She definitely did that. But just because you was in the hood, you wasn't acting hood.
That's a part of who I am. I'm never gonna change it.
Newark in the building, Tears. I hear you. I hear you, Brick City. I hear you, Brick City. But no, we gotta go because I told you we ain't done yet. We still moving. We still got some stops to make. So again, appreciate y'all. I thank y'all for coming on. Hopefully we helped y'all. Hopefully we talking. Yes, it's tough, Tears. It's tough. Everyone coming together is tough, but work on it. Talk about it. Communicate. Don't have no crazy surprises. Don't keep no secret. Let's work on being equally yoked. Let's work on equally yoked in our finances, equally yoked in our goals, equally yoked in our dreams, equally yoked in our relationship with Jesus Christ. Yeah. Let's work on that, all right? So I'm Marlon.
And I'm Keena. We're going to be back here next first Sunday.
Next first Sunday at 6 o'clock. You can text us. If you got a number, you can DM us. When it comes to some topics, this is the executive producer right here. This is the executive producer right here. I
don't want to hear take your clinical hat off. I don't want it on. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing you gotta say.
I like that, Tears. I like that.
He gonna bring that up next time.
I'm gonna use that.
You're like, why are you allowing yourself to be provoked?
Yep, there you go.
Because God ain't done with me yet.
Yeah, exactly. So DM us, text us if you want a certain topic. You know, if you want to talk about something, we may come on here next time. Just we always have fun, but just a little bit light. How well do you know your spouse, your love, your significant other? What was the first movie y'all went to go see? And who said I love you first? And
he's actually better at those things than I am.
So whatever it may be, kind of have some, some fun, some fun. But anyway, I believe it's like 7 o'clock, 7:02. We're a little bit under an hour, but nonetheless, we appreciate y'all. We thank y'all. Have a great night.
Yes, a great week.
A great week, absolutely. And we love y'all, and we will see you when we see you.